Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of A.Z. Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
Oh, man. How the hell is everybody out there? I'm coming in extremely loud right now, but that's okay. We're all okay. Everything is okay. Hey, guys, it's AJ Orsini again here once again with another episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I kind of lost track. What are we, 314, I think, at this point? Sorry. There's been a lot of moving parts.
We're on a hot streak there.
I know. And I got the number right, by the way, 314. Oh, that's my phone going off. Yes, so this is episode 314. I'm going to open up by just saying this, like, right now.
Oh, shit.
This ain't the week for me. This is not the week for me. There is so many moving parts. A bunch of things happening here at the House of O all at once. And we are now recording. This is technically Wednesday, July the 2nd. This is July 4th weekend. And so I can't wait to get to the weekend. I have a delivery guy calling me on the phone because he's an idiot and won't come to the fucking door.
Wow. So,
all you door dashers out there, I curse all of you for not coming to the door. When you don't come to the door, it's not really delivery. I'm still picking it up. You just made it closer for me to pick up. You know, if you drive 3 miles to my house and then stop short at the front of the fucking building, you didn't fucking deliver it. If I gotta put my shoes on and leave my house, I picked it up. You dashed to my door, but you did not deliver the food. I still gotta go pick it up. And best believe when I get out there, attitude city. I'm giving attitude.
All the sass?
I gotta put pants on, you gotta hear it. That's it. If I gotta put my pants on and my chanclas, you gotta hear it.
I can't wait for the robots to start doing this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, I can't wait. But yes, what I was going to say was, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're recording this on Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday because of that fact. Because I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. You also got a bunch of stuff going on too. But to your credit, you were ready to go. It was me that was just like, listen, I can't do this shit right now, bro. I'm up to my earballs.
Everyone was sick, so.
Oh, you guys got the thing going around again?
A little bit better.
You guys.
I mean, I'm good. They both are just coming off of being like crazy sick. Like their fevers were crazy.
How are they feeling today?
Really good now.
Yeah, really good now. It's over. They over it. Over it.
Yeah.
So we have what I could only assume, due to the fact that I'm so frazzled and there's so many things going on. I'm anticipating we don't have as many topics as what we normally have. And the first 2 topics, I promise, won't be long because it's just a shout-out moment to a few people that are listeners of the show, not full-time listeners of the show, but they're going to be listening to this one for sure because I told them already straight up because they asked me questions, and I told them if you want to hear the answers, you got to listen to the show. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to go and they're going to listen to the show. So I'm going to give them their answers. But the answers are to the questions that we're going to talk about right here. So the question that I have to give you guys right now is, what's going on the show today?
Come on, don't keep us waiting. What's going to happen on the show today?
On the show today, we are going to be talking uplifting. We're going to be uplifting today. I think I need this myself. This is going to be
Who?
highly
Who's
motivational.
gonna uplift somebody?
We uplifting.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah. We're going to be motivators today. We're going to be motivators today because one of the topics that we're going to be talking about here today is self-promotion. Self-promotion is the key. You can't rely on the rest of the world to put you over. You got to force these motherfuckers to put you over. You got to do the work. We're going to be talking a little bit about self-promotion today. That's the one that I told people, if you want the answer to the question, come check out the show. The second topic of the day, our second segment, will consist of injuries. There's been quite a few of them recently. We talked a little bit about when Liv hurt her shoulder. We talked a little bit about the injuries and the fact that people were tying them to repetitions, and people were tying them to the fact that they're not bumping as consistently. It's going to cause more injuries. We're going to touch on that again, but this time we're going to go a little bit more in depth when it comes to the injuries because I think there's some factors that people are not really truly considering. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We won't get gross. There won't be any blood or anything discussions. It's just the scenarios that lead up to these injuries, how preventable can they really be, and what is the future of all professional wrestlers. We'll get into that. Evolution 2. We're bringing it back up again because I was bamboozled, I was hoodwinked, and for the record, we're going to give Dave his flowers today because he called it. He called it. And we're going to celebrate Dave today with the Evolution segment. And, of course, in our main event, big weekend, Night of Champions took place. We have a new king, we have a new queen, we have a new U.S. champ, and a ton of confusion revolving around the main event. We'll pull on back to all that. So that's what's going to be on the show today. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and just get right into the first segment.
Let's begin segment 1.
Dave, are you with me?
Yes.
We are here to uplift today. We're starting off with some uplifting. That's what we're going to do here at the start of the show. Because I use the words self-promotion. Self-promotion is key. And the reason why we're talking about self-promotion today is because I have had more than one individual come up to me and just say, man, you know what? I really feel like I'm busting my ass out here. I'm traveling the roads. I'm getting in the car. I'm getting the miles in. I'm getting booked across all of the areas that I live and even further than that. I'm just not making any progress. I'm just not getting there. I'm not making my way in the direction that I want to go into. What's the key? What am I missing that I'm not gaining the success that I wish to gain? I had a friend of mine come to me, and he said this with a straight face. I tried not to laugh because he was being super serious. But he said to me, he says, I'm sick of other people not promoting me.
Hey,
I'm going to start promoting myself. Now,
let's
for
go.
the record, it does sound motivational. It sounds like somebody finally had a breakthrough moment. You know what? Fuck everybody. I'm going to do me. And I like that attitude. The problem is he's in year 5 of his career. So the question that I have is, why did you wait till now to come to the epiphany of having to promote yourself? To do what's necessary to get the word out on who you are and what you do. Now, I wasn't saying that to him for shade. I was genuinely curious. What was the plan?
It's a hard, but it's a good question. You got to evaluate.
Yeah. So I was like, I was curious. I was like, so I'm trying to think about in his head, what was the idea? What was the plan? So, he's a younger gentleman, early 20s.
Which is good.
He had the idea in his head, and he's not completely wrong about this. This is why I say no shade. He's not completely wrong in this. He was under the assumption that if you're going to book a talent, you would think that promotion would promote the fact that talent is going to be appearing on the show. And a lot of promotions, I would dare say most of them, on the independent level, don't do that. They don't. Every now and then you get like a little match card, this person versus this person, and then they share it out on social media, and then they go about their day. They go about their life, right? So he was under the assumption that there would be more to it than that. That there would be, there would be more than a little bit more than social media, right? When they do the flyering, when they do whatever, it's just letting people know that we're going to be there. Hey, we got this kid on the show. He's a pretty decent performer, or a very, very good performer, however you view him. Hey, come check him out. None of that happened. So then he got upset. He's venting, whatever the case may be. So I asked him. I said, well, you've been relying solely on just their promotion, like on their website or their social media. He's like, yeah, I mean, I share it out on my stuff too, but they don't really talk about the wrestlers in general. I said, okay, all right. So, do you cut promos? Are you coming up with your own promotional material to sell? Not sell, excuse me, to show, to display for people to see. If the company's not telling people you're going to be there, are you telling people you're going to be with the company? He's never done it. And the funny thing is he hasn't even been asked either. He doesn't cut promos. They've never asked him for for year 5. This is what he tells me.
Yeah, but
year 5.
Are you? That's actually a really good position though. So if you in the thought of selling yourself, your thought should be, hey, does this company promote XY person on their thing? No. Then your question to them when they book you is, can I promote it?
Right.
And then put your own stuff out there, letting people know that you're gonna fucking be there.
Right. That's a way to do it for sure. But it's so funny to me because that's a very logical way to go about it, right? Hey, are you going to do something for me? No? Okay, well, can I do for myself but include your stuff in it? Yeah, sure. It's funny. When I first started asking him this, none of this stuff even dawned in his head. So then he flipped it on to me, right? So he goes, all right, when you first started doing this, right? Like, what were the things that you were doing to promote? Were they promoting you or were you promoting yourself? Like, how did that start for you? And I started officially, I consider the start of my career around 2010, 2011. And the ideology that they were going to promote me was a nice idea. But I never, from the start of my career, I always I don't even call it promoting. I call it bragging. I was bragging in the beginning of my career. I'm going to be at this show at this time doing this thing. Y'all should come check me out. It was like, I think in the beginning it wasn't even like a promotional thing. I was just like giddy that I was starting a wrestling career. Because you've known me my whole life. You know how much I love wrestling even when I was a kid. I was starting a career in wrestling. I was super excited. I couldn't not tell anybody about it. I didn't really at the time even consider it really promoting myself. I considered it more of a brag. I'm bragging to people. Yeah, I'm going to be at this show doing this thing at this place with these people, I'm going to be on the show. You remember the start of my career. I'm going to be on the show with Shane Douglas, the franchise. I'm going to be in the same ring with Homicide. I'm going to be with this Tony Mamaluke, Chavo Guerrero, Kitty Dykstra. I was naming names. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with this person or I'm doing this. I couldn't help but do it. Like, I was trying, not for nothing, I was trying to brag that I was even doing it. But in doing that, in sharing it around and helping with the flyering and meeting people and exchanging of ideas, I was building a foundation and I was building a network that eventually helped me out down the line. I could not do wrestling for 2 years right now and then get back into it when I choose to because of that network, because of what I was able to do. So enough about the guy. I just wanted to get the ball of thought the train of thought behind whoever is out there listening right now thinking to themselves, well, how would I even begin to do that? How would I even begin to promote myself, as you say? Well, let's leave the world of wrestling out of this for just a second. Because, and I know you know this because you peruse the internet about as much as I do, self-promotion is not a wrestling-oriented thing. It's an entertainment business. It's a showmanship thing across the board. Even if you're not an entertainer or a showman yourself, when you're involved in business, it's important to get your brand out there. It's important to get as much material about you and what you do out there for the masses. Back in the day, that was an incredibly hard feat. You would need either TV or radio or newspaper. It was extremely hard. Now, you can promote yourself at your own leisure with one little push of a button on the phone in your pocket. But
I'll take it one step forward. You're required.
You're required at this point to do it.
You're required. Like, that's the landscape of today. Like,
Yeah.
actors really don't like it. You don't get into acting the way that you wanted to. Like, people want people who are proven nowadays.
Right.
You have to already kind of be proven. It's no more training on the job. No more getting in that entry level. You gotta come prepared, and part of it is self promotion.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of foundation down for people to be able to get behind you and be like, okay, this is a person I either on the business side want to invest in, or as a consumer, they look at you and they say, oh, this is kind of a person that I'm interested in and I want to follow. So one of the things that I told them, and you and I have talked about this in the past, I said the first part of self-promotion you have to think of is what it is that you're promoting. Right? Because one of the problems I have with the wrestling business isn't what people are doing. You know, we talked about Mr. Iguana. We talked about, Chad Gable. That's my spectrum of wrestling. Chad Gable, wrestler, to Mr. Iguana gimmick. And that's my spectrum, right? And then there's a whole bunch of in between. Personally, I may like or dislike whatever you do, but it doesn't really matter. Because as long as there is a demand for your supply, you're going to make some fucking money. You're going to do something very interesting. And one of the things that we had talked about is it's not so much what you're doing, it's how many people are doing the thing that you do. That's why I think it's hard for people to promote, because a lot of people don't have the confidence to boast about themselves. Right? Some of them have that built into them, where they don't have the ability to just be like, to gloat and say, well, this is what I do. And then you could be confident, but sometimes self-promotion goes a little bit beyond just confidence. You have to have a showmanship about it. There's got to be a charisma to it when you talk to people. And sometimes they don't know what it is to promote. They don't know what it is to sell. And I always tell people that that's where you start. Because if you do the same thing everybody else does, no one's going to give a fuck. What is it about you that you're promoting? What is it about what you do? What is it about who you are that's interesting? If you're a wrestler and you sell to me, I could do a moonsault from the top rope all the way to the floor. All right, I got 4 other guys in the locker room that could do that. Or I'm a great technical wrestler. I'm like a Benoit. And I'm like, okay, cool. I got about 10 guys that could do that already in the locker room. What is it that you do? What is it that you sound like? What is it that you say? What skills do you have that make you different from everyone else? If you can figure that part out and you have something that you can bring to the table, that's what you promote. If you don't, if you sit down and think about what you do and you can compare what you do to everybody around you, that's where you need to work. That's where your issue is, right there. If you're doing everything else that everybody else is doing, you're going to make it really hard competitively for yourself. And that's not just in the ring, that's out of the ring, that's on. If you're a YouTuber and you're doing the same content as other YouTubers, you better be better at that content, or you're not going to do shit. You're a ripoff. You're a low-budget version of whoever it was that does it better than you. So you got to find something that makes you you. If you don't have anything that makes you you, you got an issue. That's a problem I can't help you with. You got to be able to find something else. But once you do find that one thing, and you go, you know what? Nobody can do this better than I can do this. This is my thing. This is where I make my money. This is where the situation is. So now you start to really promote. So I'm going to give people really quickly, because you and I sit here, we do this podcast once a week, every week, like clockwork. So let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about in the difference of self-promotion. Because when I first started this podcast, initially, when I first started it, I started off really hot. I had friends, I had family, I had people within the industry. There were a lot of people listening to my shit, and it took off really fast, really quick. I'll say the first year. The first year was like a really good year for Orsini's Uncensored Mind. And then year 2, a little less. Year 3, a little less. Right? I started getting a little bit more. When we got into the 3rd year a little bit, it started becoming a little bit less out there. I wasn't getting as many listens. I wasn't getting as many clicks. And when that happens, you have to start evaluating what it is that you're doing. I wasn't promoting myself a whole lot. I wasn't putting things out there. I wasn't tagging. I wasn't putting into groups. I wasn't really pushing it the way that I really should have been pushing it. I was putting it on different platforms, but were they the right platforms? I was getting it in front of people, but were they the right people? Am I sharing it to any group, or am I sharing it to a wrestling-specific group, or whatever topic I was talking about at the time, right? I just uploaded a video that we're going to be releasing. It's an old episode, like 32 or something, where I talked about the Bill Cosby case at the time when that first happened. That's not a wrestling episode. Why would I put that in a wrestling group? I should put that in another group where they're more into shit like that. But I wasn't thinking like that at the time. I was doing what I thought was best for the podcast, and I wasn't doing the right thing. So I was lowering down. So the more lower it got, I'll be honest, my level of interest for the podcast started lowering as well. Because at the time I was doing the podcast by myself. So I got to do this every week, make the time, and I was, after a while you start to feel like, I'm doing it for what? Like, who's listening? Is it just me? So, like, you start to get down on yourself a little bit. But then I got this great idea. My wife was a big catalyst for the idea and started talking about it a little bit more, about doing different topics. And we were trying to find ways to freshen up the show a little bit. And that was when the idea of a co-host came up, and that's when you came up. Around the third year anniversary is when you got onto the podcast yourself. And then I had a person to bounce off these ideas and go back and forth, and that renewed my enjoyment of doing the podcast, and the numbers went up again because now there's another consistent voice. They're just not listening to me yammer full hour and a half, or whatever the fuck I was doing at the time, and it changed the sound of the show. And then because you're on the show, I can do other topics that I wouldn't normally do because I don't feel confident in doing it. With you, I can do more video game stuff. I could do more sports stuff. I could do more do stuff because you're up on stuff. And so, like, it's a different conversation now. So every now and then I would have a guest where I could do that, but to have another voice on the show all the time, it went back up. But again, we did it year 3 and then year 4, and then what happens? You start to dwindle down again. And that was when I finally had made the decision to just take a break, because I was just kind of like, I was going through school and stuff, and it was just piling up, kind of like I'm going through right now. But my situation right now is short term. This is only for like a couple more weeks. But it started to tally up, so you get down on yourself again. And that's what happened. I just decided we'll just take a break and I'll just clear my head. Maybe I'll try other things. And I didn't really get a chance to try the things that I wanted to try because I was still in my own head doing my own thing. I'm pulling the curtain back on this. So the decision to do the podcast again, not only with you, I didn't want to do it the same way because the way we were doing it before didn't work. Or at least I felt like it didn't work. So I came up with a battle plan. And that's where the YouTube thing started. That's where the shorts started. That's where the hashtags into different venues and different areas. I started putting it in different areas in front of different people. And I didn't rely on my circle anymore. I kind of jumped out of that. I don't even care about anybody I know listening to the show anymore. It was all about new listeners. And for the last year and a half, because of that, our numbers have jumped exponentially. We're doing numbers now that I never did. We're doing numbers now that are better than the first year. Because I started really paying attention on what it was taking to take it to a different level. And so I just want to give people an idea. as far as the self-promotion and how you, because a lot of the demotivating things about promoting yourself is time. It takes a lot of time to promote yourself, or at least to really get the materials out there. So for people who are in the industry, a lot of the ways that I've been able to help change this whole thing around, and you've been a big part of that too with your contribution to the show, and the process of taking, like right now, right today, what's going to happen is we're going to end this recording. I'm going to take this full MP3, because that's another difficult part about this show, folks. A lot of people don't know we don't do this in bits. Like, me and Dave sit here for 2 fucking hours or 2.5 hours the whole fucking time, and we do it straight, just like we do on the lives. That's not a live thing. We do that all the time. And so what happens is even if we fuck something up or edit something out, I'll do it later in post. I'll take the whole thing, I'll skim through it. This is where it is. Cut that, trim it, make it a little bit more fluid of a transition. I do all that at the end of it. Once I do that, then I take out the MP3 as one simple file, and then I leave the MP3 in there. I make a video out of it now. I change formats, I add pictures, I put my graphics on it that I took the time to make so that they could be opening and closing buffers, and then I import that as one video file. So I have a video and an MP3 of the same exact thing. Now I can stretch it to different places. I put my MP3 on Podbean, because Podbean, the only reason why I kept Podbean is it still puts me in other places. Because of Podbean, you can listen to the show on iTunes, you can listen to the show on Spotify, you can listen to the show on iHeartRadio. It pumps me out into all these different places. So that's good. That's what I was doing before. So that's good. But people weren't jumping on those platforms and searching me, because those platforms don't really promote you unless you're in the hundreds of thousands or millions of views. So you don't really get a lot of sponsorship. You don't get a lot of opportunity there. Adding YouTube was the game changer. Because what happens now is I put the full episode on YouTube. I put the segments that we do individually as segments on YouTube, and then those segments I put into another website. I generate clips, and then I put the clips on as shorts on YouTube. That's been the killer. That's been the game change that I didn't see coming. Now we've got shorts that are in the thousands of views. We've got segments that are in the hundreds of views. We've got full episodes that are also now getting into the hundreds of views. And you look at one video and you'll see, let's say, like for instance, you see one video that says 200 views. But that video came out earlier in the day. Now midway through the day, something got like 500 views, and then at the end of the day, something got like 300 views. That day, you got yourself 1,000 views, and all you did was schedule 3 videos. And that's what I mean by time. So you just need to pick a day where that's the day you do the work for the week. Because that's what I do. Tonight's my night. I'm going to do all the work tonight, and then I schedule everything for the whole week.
And I don't working for you. Automatically.
Yeah, and it does it for you. So let me give people a heads up on how that happens. So, like I said, I upload everything to YouTube, but I don't. On YouTube, when you upload videos to YouTube, if you go to I'm using a page, the Orsini's Uncensored Mind Facebook page, not the personal profile, the professional page. And with that, they have a section called Business Suite, where you can post or you can schedule to post. So I put my description, my link, my thumbnail, all that stuff. I put that for a schedule. So the first thing I schedule is the whole episode. After that, it's a segment a day. Every day at 3 p.m., you can go to YouTube, and it'll be live streaming our full episode on Wednesday, and then the segments throughout the course of the week. It usually takes me all the way back to Tuesday where we record again, and then we upload on Wednesday, so it's one continuous loop. That means every day at 3 p.m., if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see full videos. Also, I take the full video, I make a segment, that takes me throughout the week. Then I take the segment, and I go to a program called Opius Clips. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that. It is a pay site. I'll get into that in a little bit. But I put our segments in there, and then that clips it into short digestible bites. It even gives me the captions, which is dope. And it does it all for me. Clip, 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 clip. Gives me a listing. These are all the clips we were able to get from your piece. All the stuff they felt was really relevant, would be good for the internet. It recommends clips to you from the stuff you did. I download all of them. Then I put them in a folder. Here's the clips, and I label all of them so I know which one is which and when I'm going to use them. And I keep doing that with not all the segments, just the ones that I think really will fucking be really cool to listen to. And I take those clips. You can put one segment in and get like 30 clips from it. It's a lot of clips. So I have a big folder of clips. We had a bunch of shit that we did, me and you, that people still haven't even heard as a clip yet. And because I have so many clips, now what happens is at 9 a.m., I have a clip. It pops up as a short, scheduled. 12 o'clock, noon, short. Boop. 3 o'clock is our main shit. And then again, several hours later at 7, boop, it clips again. So that's 3 shorts, 1 full episode. When I have free time, I edit the old episodes. I have those scheduled to drop at 2 in the morning. Just so it doesn't fuck up people's algorithms. You won't get a fucking notification for it. It won't premiere. It's just something that hits the site. That way, later on in the day, if they're rummaging through the site, they can see if an old episode popped up. And they can go back and throw back. And that's scheduled every day for the week. So you figured 3 shorts a day. That's 21 shorts throughout the week. Segments and the full episode all scheduled. Now, how do I schedule it? Because not every program has an ability to schedule. Facebook does. You can schedule it. But Twitter doesn't. Instagram doesn't. What else do I have on the thing? Let me pull this up real quick. Not a plug. This isn't a plug, although it could be. I have a program here called Zoho.com. Zoho.com/social, actually. /social. And what this website does is it allows you to put in social media, whatever your social media brand, like whatever it'll ask you to sign in, and it'll link you to your Facebook, to your Twitter, to your Instagram, and it'll keep it in this one program. Oh, here it is. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have this is all Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have a TikTok for Orsini's Uncensored Mind. We have a Mastodon account, and we have a Threads account. And they're all in this one program. And I know that you're going to think, well, they all have different formats, bro. You can't all... That's right. They all do have different formats. So here's what happens. I click one post, and I put as many in there that share the same format as I possibly can. So, like, for instance, the shorts. I don't do anything with links on the shorts. So, believe it or not, I could put all fucking 6 and just input the short, put my little caption or whatever, set the time, set it and forget it. I move on. And it sits there. If I wanted to go tomorrow at 3 p.m., it fucking sits there. And at 3 p.m., boop, it hits all of these social media platforms all at once. The only one I don't use here is Facebook. And the reason for that is because if I put Facebook in here, it will post to my Facebook. But it won't post to the Orsini Uncensored Mind group. And that's the one that I feel like sometimes gets us the most traction. So I have to remember to share it into that group, which I kept forgetting to do. So I don't put it in Zoho. So what I do is I go to Facebook. Facebook has the ability to schedule a post, and it will allow you to schedule the post for the page and the group at the same time. So I don't have to remember anything. It just puts it in both. So all my ground is covered. So for instance, what I was saying about Wednesdays or Tuesdays normally, Tuesday night is extremely busy for me because I'm doing all that in the same night. But to be fair, when I'm done, I don't have to think about it. And it just sets up. Now, Opius Clips was just an example of a website that I use that cuts the clips, but there are several out there. I did my research before I wound up at Opius Clips. There's a couple out there that are actually free. You just got to listen to ads or whatever the case may be. It's a little bit more cumbersome, but you can actually do it. Then there's some that charge, and they're outlandish with how they charge. There was one. So that's Opius Clips. They cut and they clip and they edit for you. The Zoho was a big challenge for me because one of the things that people complain about the most, and I agree 100%, is this stuff is very time consuming to do. to have to remember on your own, hey, let me send out a tweet real quick. Let me send out an Instagram real quick. Let me send out a TikTok real quick. It could be tiresome. So I was looking for different programs to help me out, and everyone always pitched Hootsuite to me. Hootsuite wanted like a fucking several $100s for like a year to do the shit for me. And I was just like, that's crazy. I don't have that kind of money. But if you Google these kind of programs and you literally Google the name of the program and then like put substitute or alternative, you'll get a bunch of websites that do the same thing, but either cheaper or even free. You just got to do a little bit of the homework. And that's how I found Soho. They did everything that Hootsuite does, and it's just like half as much. It's not even nearly as expensive. So I just did that. And you can still do all this free, trust me. It's just, it doesn't cut down on the time the way you would think. So I just invested in myself. I bought a year for Zoho, I bought a year for Opius Clips, and I just go ham. And that's how I promote myself for the show. And the result has been crazy. Our show right now has been doing crazy good. So for those out there in the wrestling world, when it comes to self-promotion, the only way that you can really promote yourself as a wrestler, promos are essential. Promos about yourself, upcoming match, fucking promotion you're going to be working for. Cut a promo about a fucking school bus. I don't give a fuck. Just put something on the fucking channel. Same thing with your wrestling matches. A lot of companies don't let you film your match. Fuck that. Have someone film your match for you. Cut that shit up. Do a highlight video. If they don't want the full match on YouTube, great. Do a fucking highlight video. Take shorts. Do a really cool move or have a really cool moment. Clip that. Put it on YouTube. Put it out there. Put it out there. Put yourself out there. That's the key to fucking literally all of it. Just put yourself out there. There's a lot of people who, it takes too much time. I don't have the money, which is all valid. I'm not saying any of that with shade. It's all valid. But at some point, if you really, really want to do something, then you have to cross that bridge. You have to start.
That's what makes the difference.
I know. It's the start.
That the time and effort is what makes the difference. Because, I'm going to point back to what you said. Like, I got all these people that can do the suplexes and the backflips and all the shit that you could do. What makes you different? And I've sat with that a very long time with myself as well, trying to discover, what do I do different? What can I capture that makes me different? Like, that's such a hard fucking question to answer. Like, if you're a wrestler and you're like, well, what makes you different? Like, that's a very difficult fucking question to ask. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, what I've learned, that if it is difficult for you to answer, it's because you're not doing the work. Because if you know, like, for instance, in retail, if you know your numbers, it's because you've been working them and you know them. And I can regurgitate them to you. And I know where I am, margin and all that stuff. It's no different from an entertainer or being a wrestler. What makes you different? Well, I don't know. Then you're not doing the work. You're not exposed enough. You're not doing something. You're not putting yourself in a position to fail enough to go, I'm ass at that, but I'm good at this. And literally the one thing I'm just recently learning is what you can do to separate yourself immediately, because this all sounds like long-term shit. What you can do today to make you different than literally 90% of the people that you're competing with is just simply doing the work.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just doing the work, setting up those systems like you're saying, having someone record your matches.
Yeah.
Even if you do your first 5 matches that you record, you don't post anything. You just practice the system. See what the clips look like. See what that stuff, and then decide, I like this, I like that. And then when people ask you what makes you different, you'll have a better answer. It's really just doing the work. And it's required nowadays if you want to be different.
Yeah. Let me give you a quick example about somebody who because I was saying earlier about people who just, it's hard even for people with confidence. Without confidence, I mean, it's like 100% more difficult for an individual that really wants to do something, but they're not exactly extroverted enough to really just fucking, I'm just going to do it. So like my wife.
That's huge what you're saying right now.
Yeah. My wife is extremely intelligent, and she is an amazing teacher. What she is not is a public orator. I look at what she does with such awe because she's so good at what she does. When I do my thing, she looks in awe because she can't do it. She can't do it to save her life. She can't even wear a headset to do this. I have to put a lapel on her so she doesn't even realize. I almost have to like trick her into talking into a microphone because it messes with her. So she came up one day. I don't even know what spurred the idea, but it was during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, all the YouTube children's channels went nuts, right? Everybody just got crazy views and numbers because it was the pandemic. Nobody had shit else to do but to watch YouTube videos. So she got this idea in her head. She wanted to do a YouTube channel where she would be doing read-alouds for kids, but not just read-alouds for kids, specifically students. And the videos could be used not just to read to students, but to actually give outlines to the teachers as well. Because one of my wife's greatest skills as a teacher is she's really good at curriculum. She could do lessons and units off the top of her head. She doesn't even need paper and pen. She could just tell you, all right, this is what the goals are, this is what the standards should be, this is what we're doing, all that stuff. So her idea for the YouTube channel, I'll do a read-aloud, and then at the end of the read-aloud, like, the read-aloud will be for the student, but the end of the video would be more for the teacher. If you read this to your students, here's what you should look for, this is what you need to put in the unit, this would be great for this lesson. And when she was explaining it to me, she had so much joy in what she was saying. And I said, okay, so then, let's do it. Let's get you a YouTube channel. And then she was just like, well, I mean, and then that's where it kicks in. Like when you start going over your passion, you explain it with such great passion. And then it's like, okay, so let's do it. And they go, well, so
hold on.
So what I did, I went to work, like I say about a week after that. I went to work and I was working on the podcast stuff. And I just said, out of curiosity, I called her on the phone. I said, out of curiosity, if you were going to do the channel, you're not, but let's just say if you were going to do it, what would you really call it? Like, what would be the whole theme of the whole thing? And she's like, let me think about it. She started spitballing ideas. We're texting back and forth. She landed on Miss Ling's library. And she had this really cool idea of how it would look, and it just wanted to be really kid-friendly, cutesy, all this different stuff. And it was just a great idea. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. So I created a Gmail, and it was, I don't want to give the Gmail out because it is public still, and I don't want people to look at it just yet, but I created the Gmail, which when you create a Gmail, it automatically creates a YouTube channel for you. And I had a buddy of mine on my Instagram who I commissioned before to help me with a logo with something else that I had done with a friend. And he does really cutesy kind of caricature kind of art. So I was like, hey, I got this project with my wife, and she wants to do this. And he was like, all right, so send me some ideas. I said, cool. I said, so I didn't tell her about the guy. I said, hey, look, to Steph, if you were, let's say you did the library thing, like, how I have my Orsini's Uncensored Mind logo? She's like, yeah. Like, what kind of logo would you have? And she just started describing what she thought would be a really cool logo. I'd obviously have my hair in a bun, and I want a chalkboard behind me, and she came up with this whole thing. So I sent those details to my art guy, and he sent me a sketch of an idea. And I showed it to her, and she was like, what are you doing? I thought we weren't doing this or whatever. I was like, okay, but if you were to, would this be something that you would be interested in? Just look at it like as an art liker, right? A lover. Would this be something you can use? Well, I would change this, I would change this, I would change that. So I sent those notes to the guy. Next thing you know, complete, not even a sketch, complete digital rendering down to the color. It's a whole piece. And I sent it to her. She was like, oh, that's really cool. That would be a really cool picture. It says Miss Ling's library on the bottom. It's a real logo. So I used that logo, and I put it on the Gmail account. And I put it on the YouTube channel. And I created a whole channel, and I showed it to her on the laptop. I said, look, you have a channel. And she's breathing hard. She's like, wait, what? What happened? I was like, yeah. It's just that quick. It's just that quick. But it's a very big hurdle mentally for a lot of people to cross. She blinked, and it was right there. I said, but that's what I'm telling you. Like, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, it really isn't. And her idea wasn't to be on camera. She was going to use my equipment to read into the microphone. I said, you're not even on camera. You're just reading. So it could be the same thing. I'll plop the lapel on you. You just walk around, chill, and just read the book, whatever it takes for you to get through it. And all of a sudden, once the hard part, that she considered the hard part, which was putting everything together, once that was over and all that was left was the fun part, which is the reading of the book and the unit, the game changed. All of a sudden, it became a lot more doable. And that's all I'm telling people. That's all I'm telling people. You don't have to follow anything that I'm saying here today. But I'm telling you, folks, it's the start. The start is very, very important. Because that's what's going to help you as an individual get over the fear of, what if I'm criticized, right? Because that's the other part of it. It is going on YouTube. It is being public, which means you're leaving yourself open to whatever the public may feel or think about what it is you are producing. And if you're producing something from the heart, it could be very deflating for you to put something out there and go, oh, damn, they don't like it, or I suck, or whatever the case may be. And then it deflates you. That's why, little by little, I've been telling you, when we upload these videos, they get likes, they get dislikes, right? There will be something that you say where you'll get like 7 likes. It's like, yeah, thumbs up, they like it. And then you did a video where you shit on EO and you got 5 dislikes. Fuck this guy, right? That's every day. You know how often on a daily basis I'm called a bald fat fuck? It happens. I told my wife, it's just fucking words. It's just fucking words. My wife is just now coming around to the idea to people have opinions. That's it. They're not worth shit to anybody except them. You don't have to accept any of that. You're a fat bald fuck. All right, well, guess I'm a piece of shit and I should just go home and unalive myself. No, I'm going to live my life like fucking normal. Oh, you think this is shitty? Wait till I post the next one. Keep calling me shitty. Comment shitty on every single one of my things so my algorithms will go up. It doesn't matter. Most of the people who are successful on YouTube right now are successful based off the hate. Most of the movies today, go to any movie trailer and go into the comment section and you'll see nothing but hate for something that was never even released. But that brings up more attention to the thing. The hard part is the start, folks. That's the hard part. You just got to start. That's it. Even if the way that you started is not good, you started.
It'll get better.
It'll get better. I'm going to be honest. I've been feeling really embarrassed to upload. Right now, I'm uploading episodes 31 through 40. That means I have my first 40 episodes that I first started doing this on YouTube for everyone to hear. Those structurally and content-wise are very good episodes, but my audio is no good. I'm stammering a lot. I had just started.
Fuck that, dude. Your first 100 episodes, dude, they were because they were so raw and gritty and you were just talking stupid. I remember laughing so hard to some of those fucking stories. Fuck what you say, dude. Those were some good times, man. Oh my goodness, cracking up on myself listening to that shit. Those were good. Those were good, man.
But you see how you respond to those episodes as opposed to how I respond to them. I listen,
and that's the real world.
Yeah, and that's the real world.
Both of those experiences are out there.
You're more in your own head about your material than the rest of the fucking world. I promise. Whether it goes well or it doesn't. There's episodes that we've done where I'm like, I wasn't really feeling that, and then I'll get an email or I'll get a message from people like, yo, you guys are killing it right now. And then there was episodes where I'm like, yo, me and Dave just fucking smoked it. This is great. And it didn't get the views that I thought it was going to get. It happens either way. The key is to just keep fucking trudging along and just fucking do it. For anybody out there that's listening to this, I know you have a project in your head you want to fucking try. Try it. Because the worst mistake you can do is to continue to live with something that you wanted to try and didn't do only because you were the one that decided not to do it. Because if you do it and you fail, you know what happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. You feel bad, but
No,
the rest of them...
I'll even raise you one. Nothing happens in the act. You know what? That's exactly what people would feel like. The scapegoat could be like nothing happens, but in actuality, what really does happen is you gain experience.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. Like the fail is the W.
Yeah.
So you're gonna gain confidence. You're gonna gain momentum. Maybe you might lose some, and then you might come back later. Like you just said in your story, like you got deflated a little bit, and you came back, and you did it again, and now you're here, and we're gaining some momentum. It's like you're literally showing exactly what you're saying. Like, yeah, you can get discouraged and leave, but if that fire burns again,
yeah,
you're gonna come back with more experience than you had the first time you did it.
You'll be
and
better.
That could be the moment you're fucking out of here. So that person who's 5 years in trying to figure it out, you're gonna pivot to trying to promote yourself, but you have all of this experience that someone who's starting right now doesn't have, and that separates you. You just gotta do the work.
Yeah, that's it. You just gotta fucking you just gotta fucking go. You gotta go. There's so many people in this world who are putting out content that have no talent and no skill and nothing really to say at all. And they're getting fucking numbers. Yes.
Dude, 10K a month, bro. They're just reeling it just because they don't stop.
Yeah, they just don't stop. That's what it is. They just flood it.
Stop.
Flood it. That's it.
You call them dumbass every single episode at 5 o'clock. They're stupid, but the view and the advertisement is there, and they're going to take that shit straight to the bank.
Straight to the bank. And you can get in on this action, too. You just got to start. Yep. That's it.
You just got to spread your cheeks. Oh, wait, we're talking about
That's a different. Sorry. Yeah, we're not talking about those blue wings. That's a whole other conversation over there. Get those OFs. Get those UVs started over there. That's a whole other conversation for another day. But not for nothing, if you're a female out there listening to this and you're contemplating the OF, girl, go ahead and put your titties on there. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. Not really. These dudes out there, I couldn't be with a girl who was on my... Yeah, all right. They're full of shit. They're full of shit, ladies. They're full of shit. It's not true. If you can make money, make money. That's it. Now, don't think that you're going to make big money. For those women out there that are getting those $1 million, that's not everybody. I think the average income, I heard online the other day, the average income for an OnlyFans user is like $200 a month or something like that. Like, they're not getting any real money in OnlyFans, so it is what it is. But yeah, that's
because they're not doing the work. They think you just go on there and bust it open. No one knows you're busting it open. You gotta promote that shit.
I don't know what your coochie looks like, but I know I've seen it.
Busting it open every Tuesday at 5. Come check me out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in my circle thought that I was going to talk about more like promos, how to do promos and stuff. That's not what this is. That's not what this is.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because as you started going on, I'm like, I wonder if this is going to be not so much is it helpful, but is he going to accept the message? Because you pivoted off the physical question, but I think you elevated the question and took it to a different place.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, wrestling isn't guaranteed.
No.
But it could open you up to other things in that lane. And this is more of a fundamental foundation thing. And if you can grow from there, you'll either take off this way or you're going to go somewhere else. Regardless, you're going somewhere. So I like that you made that pivot. You kind of took it off of wrestling and then brought it back.
Because it's the habit.
The foundation of what you said was a better message.
Yeah, because it's the habit. You know, I could sit here and tell people all day that if you want to lose weight, all you need to do is diet. We can say it till we're blue in the face, but I can't make a person commit to the diet. That's what I explained here on this episode. We could teach you a method in which you can get better with your promos. But if you don't film your promos and put your promos out there, what was the point? Why do we sit here and go over how to do a promo if you're not going to record them and put them out? So I want to establish the habit first. Let's get the habit. Let's Let's get the brain working on what we're going to do with our material, and then let's work on the fucking material. You need a plan.
Execution.
Yeah, you need a plan. Here's what I'm going to do, here's how I'm going to do it. Now, if you want people to actually jump on it, when you execute your plan, you need to have the right content. Then we can have that conversation. So, yeah. So that's that promotion. Self-promotion is the key, folks. Don't wait on other people to tell the world how great you are. Because you know what the real truth is, and I'll end the segment with this. If you're truly great, they won't say shit about you. Because they don't want to promote somebody greater than them. They will only promote you when they have the advantage over you. Because they'll make you feel like they're doing you a fucking favor. When in all actuality, you're the talent and you're doing them the fucking favor. But they make you feel that way because you're insecure and you have insecurities. We all have them. And they fucking poke it with a stick. And they make you feel shitty for doing their bidding. So it continues to go in that path. It doesn't need to go on that path. You don't need to rely on someone else to do it for you. You can do it yourself. And if they don't appreciate you doing it on your own, then you know now that they've exposed themselves and you don't need to do business with this person. Because they've exposed themselves. They only want to do business on in their way, on their time, when they're ready, and that's not suitable for you. Because they have their own lives to live. They're not worried about your shit. So, you worry about your shit. And worry less about their shit. Trust me, they'll fall in line when you start getting over and you're able to draw money wherever you go. That's when people will really fucking love you. When you're up and coming in the industry, no one gives a fuck about you. All of a sudden, you're on television, you're on pay-per-view, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then you go to an indie show and they fucking blow you. The same guy they wouldn't book 5 years ago. They're sucking your dick lovely. You know how you get to that point? Promote yourself. Let's get on to the next segment.
Next up, segment 2.
So we just did a whole segment on promoting yourself. And this is going to be another quick soapbox situation because this is the other half of the conversation. Dave, you and I just sat back not too long ago and we divulged a few minutes to the situation that happened with Liv Morgan on Raw, the injury to the shoulder. It was a simple drop toe hold, basic front bump, nothing out of the ordinary, and pop goes the shoulder, pop goes the weasel. And she's not the only one on the list. So, obviously, Zoe Stark, a nasty. Now, you still haven't seen it, have you? The Zoe Stark injury?
Zoe Stark one, no.
You don't want to see the Sid Viciousness of it. We've had currently Kevin Owens currently fighting for his goddamn stability right now. He has a full spinal injury. They're going to be doing, I think they said July, sometime this month. They're going to be doing spinal fusion on his neck to get the disc in his neck correct. We just recently heard that Chad Gable, our machine, the best wrestler in the world, as advocated by OUM Network, he's down with an unspecified injury. This shit happens. And for as much as we sat here just a second ago and talked about how you should be promoting yourself and how you should be putting yourself out there, really pushing it, really getting over, here's the other end of it. And what I mean by that is, if you really want to be in this business, then yeah, you got to go all the way. But if you're going to go all the way, you have to go all the way with one simple fact in mind. You have to keep this in your head, and you got to think about it as you progress through your career. And the thing that you got to think about is you're going to get injured. It's a guarantee. You're going to get hurt. Now, the only thing that is determined is the extent. Are you going to get Darren Drozdoff, where you take a bump that you would normally take any other fucking day, D'Lo Brown running powerbomb, and all of a sudden you take the bump a little off angle, and boom, that's it. Your legs don't work anymore. Are you gonna take the Pero Aguayo, where he hits the ropes, he's in the 619 position, all of a sudden something goes on and he dies literally in the ring? Or something as simple as, I don't want to say simple because it's still a devastating injury, but Liv Morgan popping out a shoulder. This kind of thing happens. And it's guaranteed. This isn't acting in Hollywood. This isn't, a situation where, if I eat right, if I train properly, is like you can do all those things right. And the best thing you can possibly hope is that you'll stave it off. You'll help prevent some injuries, proper stretching, warming up, taking the bumps correctly, well-timed on the execution of the moves. You could do all the right things. It's going to happen. All right? One of my good friends, Whiplash, has a whole metal ankle on his right leg. All that is metallic. All of it. We call him Inspector Gadget. He's got that go-go foot. He just does weird shit. And he hurt that on a baseball slide. That's it. It was just, the dude wasn't even in the ring with him. He was outside the ring on the apron. He went for a fucking baseball slide, and as soon as he went at that angle for the slide, his fucking shoe caught the canvas. It turned his ankle up, and all that shit shattered. All of it. Across the board. Motherfucker had to... that was a rough night at the hospital, for sure. Shattered that whole shit. All of it. Fucked up. He hasn't wrestled in about a year. He's not injured now. He's just slowly getting out of the game. He's pretty much over it. But even now, like on a rainy day, this motherfucker's leg be humming. So even something as simple as that, like the stuff that you go through inside the ring, it doesn't go away. It nags a lot. I have a hard time myself sometimes with my two knees, both of my knees, and my lower back. I've had issues in the past. Luckily, I have a hot Spanish wife that rubs me down with oils and icy hots. And what is this I got over here? Hemp Vana. It's a lidocaine. Pain relief cream, lidocaine. You know what the fucked up part is, though? Is that she rubs this shit on me when I'm in pain or when I'm feeling sore. But I rub it on her when she's feeling sore or she has a migraine or she has neck pressure. And I killed half this bottle on her. And she hasn't taken a bump in like 15 years. I said, you selfish. You hogging all the goddamn hemp. You hogging all the lidocaine. But it is what it is. Don't be selfish. So this is a message to all the young individuals who are coming into the business, who look at wrestling like a passion, and they go, man, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to try this. Some of my biggest heroes are wrestlers. I want to be a wrestler. I want to follow my dream. I'm not trying to say don't. Go for it. I did it. Go for it. Just know that's how it ends. Even if you end it on your own terms, correctly, all that good stuff, this stuff doesn't go away. The tables, the ladders, the chairs, the ring itself, the apron, stuff to the floor, all that stuff, the guardrail. Even when you're training and you're throwing yourself on the floor, stuff doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. And you can't reverse any of it that happens. You can't. And it's extremely hard to watch a lot of my friends. And Kevin Owens in particular, he's kind of the one that got the conversation started. That's why we're doing it on the show. Where he spent a whole career doing some of the craziest shit you've ever seen. And he always walked away. And all of a sudden, one bump in January, and it's all over. If this surgery is not successful, he's retired. He's gone. from the industry. It's over. Just like that. And I've had it happen to people who are not even stars on the indie level, who were coming up, rising up the ranks, one bump, simple thing, crack, done. Never the same again. Quality of life just out the fucking window. I've been very lucky. I've only really had 3 major-ish kind of injuries. The dislocation of my elbow, the first time I ever truly blew out my knee. I needed a cane for like 3 weeks. It was fucking horrible. And the fucking chair shot that I'll never forgive this asshole for giving me in the side of my fucking head, breaking my tooth into my fucking gum that required oral surgery that none of those motherfuckers paid for. But I digress. Those were the 3 most painful. I've had other injuries since, but none of them were as painful as those. If I had to rank them, I'd probably put the tooth one at number 1, my elbow number 2, and my knee number 3. Although my knee sucked, but nothing hurts worse in life than fucking tooth pain. You want to go to one of my earlier episodes, you'll understand my pain when it comes to tooth pain. I don't know. I am a complete bitch when it comes to tooth pain. There's nothing I can do. So this is the other half of the sermon about the injuries. Stop coming up to me and telling me that, hey, all you need to do is just this. And then, no, no one walks away with this scot-free. When you've made the decision in your head that you're going to be a professional wrestler, you've given up your body. It's over. And it's a roll of the fucking dice. It could end tragically. It could end nicely. At the very least, best case scenario, you'll just have discomfort. That's it. It'll be a little hard to get out of bed. You'll be rubbing your shit when it rains, especially as you get older. It's crazy. Look at all the old heads that can't walk. Have you seen Hogan recently? Holy shit. Or Flair. Flair has football stitching on his fucking stomach right now. They sewed him up with what I can only assume was hockey skate laces. That shit was thick as fuck. He looks like the side of his gut looks like the old pigskin footballs from like the leather helmet days in the NFL. Shit is nuts. And that's from all the damage he's done to his organs. Not just from the bumps, but from the alcohol, the drug use. Just fucking their bodies up. Everybody who took steroids back in the day to look as great as they fucking look. Look at Luger in the fucking chair. Look at Luger in 86, and then look at Luger in the Hall of Fame. Holy fuck. Now, I'm not saying people are good. I'm not putting this all on drug users. I'm just saying in general, in the sport or the business, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that's the price. There's no other way around it. So, just wanted to throw that out there. Get that segment on the YouTube channel for people who I've been asked this 1,000 times. Like, how do you what do you do to avoid? You don't. You don't. You either want to do this or you don't want to do this. But it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. And there's going to be a bunch of fans on the internet telling you that you're being a bitch about it. It doesn't really hurt like that. You'll break a leg. Oh, damn, how long are you going to be out? 7 months. Oh, that's it? Damn, 7 months? Really? You think you can't come back in like 4 or 5? SummerSlam's coming up. I'm like, what? It's like, no, I may never walk again. He's like, well, no, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. So I always do that analogy. Wrestlers are just people's, the toys, the action figures. We're not real people. They're just, these are my toys. I get tired of toys. I love toys to death. It is what it is. So, all right. I got it off my chest. I'm done. we can go to the fucking next one.
It's time for segment 3.
It is time for us being the Squad of O, to give Dave his flowers. You did it.
I don't know why you're saying that.
You did it. You absolutely fucking did it. And
I
we
feel like this is negative.
Well, negative for the person that we're going to be talking about, but positive for you because once again, you were a full-blown cynic, and it paid off for you here because you called it. You called this, and I want people to understand fully what we're talking about because you were once again ahead of the curve, sir. You just followed the tea leaves. You followed the jelly beans. You saw it all happen. You took, I forgot which pill it was to see the realness of it. Was it the red pill in Matrix? You've been
I took them both.
But you nailed this. And it's the first thing, you were the first person I thought of when I saw this. So Night of Champions, which we'll talk about in a second, took place on Saturday, early in the day, Saudi Arabia. And Monday, which was in Pittsburgh, all of a sudden, the show starts off with Rhea Ripley. They start talking about Evolution. I said, wow, they waited this long to start talking about Evolution? The motherfucker was in like a week and a half, like 2 weeks. And I was like, there's no time to build any of this shit. They're just throwing this match together now. And as they're talking, it dawned on me, it must already be set, right? Because they're talking to each other like this shit is already happening. It's going to be Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the World's Women's Championship, which we called. Both of us said that's probably the direction they're going to go. It's going to be Rhea and Io, which that was expected, right? So I got curious. I said, well, let me go to the wiki real quick and just make sure that they have it confirmed that that's going to be the match. I go to the Wikipedia. They have 5 matches announced. And I said, who, what, where, when? So just really quickly, they have JC Jane, who is the NXT Women's Champion. She's going to compete against Jordynne Grace at Evolution. It's going to be an NXT title match. Now, that one I can excuse because I don't watch NXT. They've probably already been talking about it. They've probably been already building that up. I wouldn't know. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley got announced on Monday. They also announced that the women's tag team titles would be on the line with Roxanne Perez taking Liv Morgan's place as the tag team champions. And they're going to do a 4-way where they're going to go up against a team from Raw, a team from SmackDown, and a team from NXT. Now, I don't normally like to divulge in spoilers, but the SmackDown team apparently has already been decided. They must have taped it already because it happened already. The WWE is going to take off for July 4th weekend, so they already taped their SmackDown. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, for whatever reason, were a tag team on SmackDown, and they won. So they're going to be in the tag team title match. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as a team. Then they're going to do a battle royal where the winner gets an opportunity at the championship at Clash in Paris. And for whatever reason, for the WWE Championship, or WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton is defending against Trish Stratus. So I threw up in my mouth when I saw that last one. And we'll get into this card as a whole. But you fucking called this. Because we're in Atlanta for this pay-per-view. And what I said is that if you're going to be in Hotlanta, GA, the only clear main eventer for this pay-per-view should be Bianca Belair. That goes without any fucking discussion at all whatsoever. It's the no-brainer. And you said that this company has made a habit of disrespecting this woman so hard that you couldn't even see her being in the main event. Well, they saw...
She's not even on the fucking card so far.
Let me finish. They saw...
Okay, I'm trying not to crash out right
now. They
now.
saw you... No. I'm setting you up for the crash out. They heard you say that they're so disrespectful to this woman that there's no way they would make her the main event. And they looked you dead in the face, Dave, and they said, I will double your trouble. I'm not even booking the bitch at all, whatsoever. No main event, not even an issue. She's not even going to be on the goddamn card. And for those of you wondering, well, hold on a second, AJ. That women's tag team title match still has 2 spots. No, sir. Bianca Belair is on the SmackDown brand. I just told you SmackDown has a winner. Bliss and Flair. So unless they throw her into just some random bullshit match for zero reason, she ain't on the card.
So there's one bail that can be shot.
Okay.
Because we'll get into it later, but there was a particular finish that got me scratching my head at Clash of Champions.
Night of Champions.
And if that's the case, Night of Champions. And if that's the case, then match 4 might be their opportunity to put her in there and have a big payout for her.
Put her in the Battle Royal.
Correct. Because there you could drive a story there with what's going on what happened earlier. And I feel like that's the direction they may be going, that fight. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, she's not. 2 things I noticed when you showed me this: she wasn't on the card,
Mm-hmm.
and that last match made me like fucking shut my phone off and just walk away for a little bit, because they did exactly what the fuck I said they should not do.
Yes.
And again, I'm telling you, there is a list somewhere where Vince made promises to certain people. This is what it feels like with the Goldberg shit. I'm telling you, it just feels like there's a few people who are owed a couple of appearances, and it just really feels like he's running the gauntlet. He's paying the dues because they just feel so randomly placed for nothing at all, no payout. This is a terrible ending to what feels like is going to be a pretty mediocre show.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't think this is going to be a tough watch. That's for sure. And the only thing that will make me happy is if she is actually in match 4 and she does win it. So we'll see what happens. I'm not holding my fucking breath, though.
The Trish Stratus inclusion kind of
Oh, and no Stephanie, by the way. Stephanie has made the list to where it's like, if she's not on the card, is disrespectful.
You're
So
talking
just to
about
have
Victoria.
Bianca?
Yeah.
Yes. Stephanie or Bianca is not on this card?
Even if they're on the card but in the Battle Royal, what a fucking waste. What a fucking waste. And we said when we first talked about Evolution 2, we sat here and we said, you know what? This version of Evolution 2 is going to be so great because they don't have to rely on the legends. They're so goddamn deep. They can do a card straight up with who they got, and it makes all the sense. They could actually avoid a Nikki Bella situation, because that was the criticism of the first one, Nikki Bella being in the main event, competing for a championship. Wow, what a waste that was. And now we fast forward, and that's exactly what they did. They put fucking one of the legends in a championship match on the fucking card. That was the one thing we were like, well, at least we don't have to do that shit again. And they went, oh, still talking shit. Didn't learn from Bianca. Trish, you're in. They were just
If I'm a
tag
female
partners
on that card right now, I'm salty.
The thing is, I don't know if they're allowed to.
telling you.
I don't know if they're allowed to even be salty about it. But at the same time, like, is there absolutely nobody? Is there absolutely nobody that has the balls to step up and just say, "What the fuck is this?" Because Rhea's in a situation where she doesn't have to, right? She's in a championship match. She's not fucking worried about that. There's a good chance that's going to be the main event for sure now. Based on this card, that's got to be the fucking main event now. What goes after
has
Rhea
to
and
be. There's
Io?
no way.
Fucking way.
Trish Stratus is closing the show, and you're going to damn near open with Rhea and Io.
I would turn the pay-per-view off if that's the opening match. I'll watch it at another date. I would have to calm down. I would need to fucking. I got it right here. What's this? Lidocaine, hemp vena. I'd have the pain relief. I'd have to put it on my muscles. I'd have to. I would wrap it all over my head and my forehead and my hair and all kinds of shit. I don't want to be around anybody. I was looking forward to this. I was looking. I was
hoping they would do it.
Yes. I was like, Jesus, bring it back. You've got more talent than ever now. This is going to work now. And then, oh my fucking God. The way that I described it here, I used Evolution to discard it already. They promoted this as a thing that's going to happen, and then they just put it out there without giving a fuck.
You know what? I'm not even mad at that. I don't even think the issue is the fact that we're just gonna book it. Like, who cares? This is gonna be a pay-per-view for just women raw talent, dude. Like, fuck story. Let's just get in there. Let's put some opponents together. Let's use it as an opportunity and just let them go out there and show out. Actually, now that I say that, do you think that this is their version of that? Because I feel like it's a little weak.
I think that based on what's in front of me, how can I think anything else? They just said, yeah, let's just put a bunch of fucking matches together.
Trish Stratus just kind of counters the whole argument.
Rhea and the funny thing about Trish versus Tiffany is that they were just partners. Or I feel like it just happened. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was Elimination Chamber. So that was in February. So that was about 5 months ago. But they were tag team partners. They won a match. They haven't talked to each other on camera since, and now they're opponents at Evolution. Which is nuts, because if you go back to the original Evolution, if you would have told me Trish was in that main event, I don't think I would have been as angry. Because they weren't as deep then. This is unnecessary. They can't find an opponent for Tiffany Stratton. They had to go into the bin and pull out the old reliable.
How do you feud with someone you shared a Nia Jax sandwich with?
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's true. Oh, my God.
At that point, there's nothing you guys haven't been through together.
Yeah, there was some real sisterhood made out of that little situation right there.
Oh, yeah. Great moment.
The Battle Royal does open up possibilities to see some names, right? Obviously, you just said Stephanie Vercore's
but
name.
also opportunities to see more junk.
I know.
That's what I was going to ask you, how many people are in it?
It doesn't specify, which means they can literally put as many of these women in there as they can possibly do it. For every Julia, there's going to be another Zelina Vega. So yeah, you have to figure out what the hell the situation is with that. God sakes, that's a teaser, by the way. Go ahead, you guys. After this is over,
Zelina's definitely in that shit.
Yeah, this is a teaser, by the way. Go when you get to Night of Champions, you'll hear my beef about this whole goddamn situation too. But yeah, that this whole card just feels like whatever's happening. There's actually one match missing from this list now that I think about it, because they announced on Monday that the Women's Intercontinental Championship was going to be on the line. Lyra Valkyria, Bayley as challengers against Becky Lynch. That's going to be a 3-way now for the title. So there's 6 matches.
Well, then that's better, because I was literally going to say earlier, if I'm Lyra, I'm pissed right now. I'm in feud with some top people right now, and I'm not on this card.
Yeah. Well,
so that's the case, then that makes me feel a little bit better.
The one that I want, Chelsea Green, is probably going to be in the fucking Battle Royal. We're also hearing rumors, by the way, Britt Baker might be in that Battle Royal, not for nothing.
Dude, I fucking lose it.
DMD, baby, in the house.
Oh, my God.
So let's see.
2 phenomenal.
AEW.
And listen, you saw what they did with Jade, and well, we'll get to that. But dude, they get their hands on?
I know.
Britt Baker.
They didn't know what they had. They didn't know what they had.
Can I get a Chelsea Green Britt Baker feud?
Oh man, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be phenomenal.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, so Evolution's coming up July 12th.
No reason.
Not July 12th. Because Saturday night's main event is on the 12th, I think, right? Yeah, 12th. That's another thing. Saturday night main event, Saturday, and then Evolution on the 13th. So that's when that's going down. So let us get into our main event because there's a lot going on there, and we unfortunately have to tread this road. Let's get to it.
It is now time for our main event.
I know that my tone indicated to everyone out there that, oh boy, he's gonna trash it again. No, I'm not gonna trash it. It's actually, I wasn't too upset by this pay-per-view, but there's one in the middle. Is that we gotta have the fucking talk. I've been trying to not have the fucking talk, but we gotta have the fucking talk. Not in the middle. Excuse me. A match that took place in Saudi Arabia that wasn't on the pay-per-view. I feel like we need to get into this just a little bit. Just a little bit. And that's the Zelina Vega situation. Zelina Vega and Julia, the Women's United States Championship on the line on Friday Night SmackDown. There was a title change that took place. Julia is now the United States Champion for the women's division. And Zelina Vega is really, really terrible fucking position. In a position she really does not want to be in, I can assure you. Because she complained very openly about not getting any opportunities. And she's, for nothing, I said earlier in the show, you got to promote yourself. She did. She did that. She tried that. It worked. They gave her the ball. They gave her the opportunity. The United States Championship. She beat the inaugural champion. They're going to give her a run. And that whole time was just snake bit. Snake bit. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. She wins the championship under controversial terms with the whole Chelsea Green thing. They had to overbook it to make it make sense. Then she gets in there with Chelsea Green on the rematch. She breaks her fucking face. That's not a good fucking start to the whole thing. Then she gets to Saudi Arabia, and she's got the wardrobe malfunction. She's got the skin showing, and they got to go to commercial. They panicked. They had to get the fuck out of there because this chick's got her whole fucking side out. It's a whole ordeal. This whole thing is snake bait. And then after the championship, she gets the championship, and all of a sudden now the complaint is, well, they're not giving me any promo time. Oh my God. Yes, you can cut a promo. There's no doubt about it. And remember, I've worked with this lady in the past. I've gotten a chance to meet this woman. I've gotten a chance to speak to this woman. I've gotten a chance to work with this woman. She's talented. But at this level, I don't know. It ain't looking good. It's not looking right. I don't know. I have a feeling the next time we start talking or start hearing about cuts, I got a sad feeling in my gut she's going to be on that list. So I think they're over it at this point. That none of that looked good. None of that went well at all whatsoever. And she didn't even make it to the pay-per-view with the championship. So I just, and the fact that Julia was the one in the ring with her, I know it's SmackDown and Julia's a SmackDown talent, but the fact that Julia got the belt before Stephanie Vacour did, I'm sorry, I don't get Julia. I don't get it. I don't see it. Is there anything about Julia that stands out to you? Because I don't get it.
No. I'm still taking back that Chelsea Green dropped the belt to her.
And then got her face broke for it.
However Zelina feels about her position, I feel like Chelsea's actually living that. Like she's giving you the proof that she can go. And I don't feel like she was in the opportunity that she should have gotten in that position that she was in. But they got plans. They're trying different things. It is what it is. I just gotta sit and wait to see for it to level out. See what happens.
Well, that was on the SmackDown before Night of Champions. Let's take it now to Night of Champions. Our opening match, the final of the King of the Ring tournament, Cody Rhodes against Randy Orton. This is Randy Orton's second attempt at King of the Ring. He's been to back-to-back finals. He lost last year to Gunther, And he lost this year to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the king of the ring and headed to SummerSlam. Dave, what were your thoughts when you saw Cody take it home with the crown?
I thought, my initial thought was they're going to give it back to him.
The belt, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to give it back to him. I think that win. First of all, I didn't see this going the way that it did, so that was pretty cool. But to see Cody win, to me, tells me he moved out of the way, and now he's going to get it back.
The quarterback.
And whatever run that is, that's fine. I don't know. I don't completely hate it because there's opportunity that he doesn't. But I mean, once we fast forward to what happened, and I didn't know that in the moment when I saw it, my brain instantly thought, okay, because we're getting old school Cena vibes right now, right? Like, I don't foresee Cena dropping it until he's done, and that's at SummerSlam, isn't it?
No, he's ending in December.
Oh, December. Okay, I don't know why I thought SummerSlam.
It's all right. I still believe he's
Okay.
going to lose
Well,
the belt at
then
SummerSlam, too.
Yeah, well, in that, I think when I saw Cody win, this was his route back to get the belt back, that he kind of just bowed out so that Cena can go on his run.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like when I saw this win. I'm not completely mad at it. I think it was a decent match.
Yeah, it
They
was good.
went. I hate Cody Cutter. I will always hate Cody Cutter. I hate that fucking move. But everything else it was a Randy Orton Cody Rhodes match. It was good. I liked it.
I'm in love with the match only for the simple fact that I've taken the ride, right? I saw Cody's career begin under the tutelage, under the bright lights of Randy Orton, and I got a chance to see him be kind of an okay wrestler into a pretty good wrestler. And, it's one of those, the student has surpassed the teacher kind of moments. I saw a guy in the ring who was confident. He knew what he was going to do. He felt right. Whenever Randy had a misstep, he was there. Whenever Cody had a misstep, Randy was there. This is one of those matches where I get upset about pro wrestling because I'm just like, this is what it used to be like all the time. This is what it used to look like all the time. This is what it felt like.
Yeah.
The fact that it could still be that is enraging because it's not like that a lot anymore. So this was a pretty good match. I like this match. And I do believe...
Maybe I just needed a... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I do believe Cody...
You do believe what?
I do believe Cody's probably going to regain the championship at SummerSlam. Night 2 main event, I believe should be the right time to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, and I think I was just about to say I think I just needed a break from him. I wish he would stop doing two things though, which is why I kind of hope for a heel turn for him that I don't think is ever going to happen. But the Cody Cutter, I hate that fucking move. Just had to reiterate that. And
You
number
hate the
two,
way he does it, or you just hate the move? Because there's other people who do the move.
I hate the way he does it, and I hate the way people sell it.
Oh, all right.
I hate the whole communication of it. Especially if I saw the bouncy dude do it. He needed to throw that shit in that shit belonged to him now. He needs to just stop doing it. But
That boy bouncy. Javon Evans.
the other thing that I wish he would stop doing is I hate this fucking like bro man shit he does with people, and it like, oh, I love that guy, best man I've ever like, dude,
Yeah.
shut the fuck, stop.
He carried
Stop
that
doing
over
that.
from
Like, you
AEW.
gotta kill people, but you need to stop. Do it like it kills it for me. Stop bigging everybody up.
Not everybody
You're
is
the
your
man.
friends. Huh?
Yeah, dude, it's stupid, but it kills it too because like seeing him and Jay go, like there's no interest. There's no feud there. There's no. I don't want to see an exhibition between two friends. I don't know. Is that weird? I just don't like it. You don't gotta talk shit on them, but stop glazing them all the fucking time. Like just you won. You're the man. Like just be the guy. People will naturally talk shit about you, and then you be the babyface. You don't have to take a second before your promo starts to shout out your boys in the back. Like, dude, stop it. I just wish he would stop doing that.
As the kids would say, you need to chill with all that dick riding you're doing out here, son.
Yeah. All that glazing.
Ooh. Ooh, taking 2 glizzies to the face.
I was gonna say, chill off the glizzy. Dude, I don't give a fuck. In my lifetime, that has to be one of the greatest fucking slang terms.
Glizzy.
Whoever came up with that is a legend.
Forever
That's what they're
and
calling
ever.
in my house. Yo, you want what you want? 4 glizzies?
4
3
glizzies. Little
My wife's
hot, a little
"Dude,
ketchup
stop
mustard.
calling them that. Like, what the fuck do you call them? They're glizzies.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to be on the package. Ballpark glizzies.
Oh my god. 100% beef glizzies.
Yeah, all beef.
There's a market there, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if they have any vegan glizzy options.
Plant-based glizzies.
Blazed glizzies. That's it. Health. It's what's for dinner, son.
Oh my god.
Oh man! So our next matchup had a little bit of controversy to it. Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight. The only real controversy of this match is apparently there were a lot of people pissed off with the finish, which I don't get. To me, I was like,
What was wrong with the finish?
the usage of the table. There was a couple of people online that were a little pissed. There was some people, I was shocked to see this. There were a few wrestlers that were just like, that's an odd use for the table. Because people are so programmed to seeing people go through a table, not necessarily use a table as a prop to do something else. She hit, Rhea Ripley wins the match. She hit Riptide off the top rope, but they used a table across the rope and top rope as a platform. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rhea and Raquel are not two individuals. I was going to say you're not going to find these two ladies shopping in the petite section of a clothing store. Now, having said that, there's a lot of big dudes that have been on top of that top rope and didn't need the assistance of a table either. So I think that's why people look at that and they go, well, you really didn't need to do all that. You could have just blah, 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 blah. But my thing is this, and this is just my take on that whole controversy, but I didn't, when they took that bump, I actually, come to think of it, didn't even realize they were on the table. Like, I saw them setting it up, but once Rhea and Raquel are up there and you start seeing the setup to the Riptide, I was like, oh, this is going to be a sick fucking bump. And then they executed it fucking perfect. That was a flat back bump. It was on the money. 2 professionals with great timing. Big sound, big boom in the building. Crowd popped hard for it. 1, 2, 3. Mommy's the winner. What a moment. So if you're looking at that, all you can think is, oh, what a weird use of the table. I don't know what to tell you. I think you're looking too deep. Some things you can it's okay to just overlook. I don't know. That was weird for me.
It's a shame. It's a shame too, because sometimes I feel like
It's nitpicking. Jesus.
No, you know what? I'm gonna take this back to the point that you made at the top of this show about promoting yourself and like doing the work and stuff, because there's a shitty side of that where you do all this work. I mean, she comes back from an injury. She's been working back slowly behind Liv Morgan, trying to get her footing back, trying to get back to where she was before. And then she gets this match with Rhea. And I'll go on record every single fucking time I see Rhea, not to call Rodriguez an unorthodox opponent, like someone that's beneath her, but like every time I see Rhea wrestling somebody who isn't at the highest card, I can never tell if it's the person doing really, really well, or is it just Rhea's that fucking good about controlling a match? Because I felt like this was, at least for a while now, Rodriguez's best match. Like, she was so good here. And I don't know if it was the pacing or what it was, but they had a great fucking match with each other. I thought it was. So for you to point out the table part, I mean, it was, for me, it was like, oh, they're on a table. Like, I wasn't standing up, pulling my hair out of my head, like, oh my God. But it wasn't something like that's lame. So I don't know. It's just weird that I saw these two have an amazing match with each other, and the one thing people are bitching about is the spot at the end that it didn't botch, didn't slip, it didn't look weird. I guess if you want to hyper focus on the table, I mean, you could say it's unnecessary maybe, but like my brain didn't even go there. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool finish, and then I just fucking moved on.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
was past it.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, yo, okay, that match was fire. I like that match. That match was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Up until this point, like I'm really feeling it, right?
Especially for Raquel.
And then
Especially for Raquel.
yeah, and whatchamacallit, up until this point, I was really feeling it, and I was a little hesitant based on my bad taste of Money in the Bank. But up until this point, I'm really feeling it. Next match, I was also kind of feeling. I was loving the fan reaction to this one. Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross. I enjoyed how into the match everyone was, and more importantly, how into Karrion Kross people were. He's starting to cook. A little bit. He's inching a little bit more. He's starting to. People are starting to feel him a little bit. So I'm happy for that. But this was just a reason to get Sami on the card. It worked. Fans love him. It is what it is. 13 and a half minutes. Sami Zayn defeats Karrion Kross. Anything about this match for you that kind of stood out?
I still have Sammy fatigue. Like it's almost to the point where like I feel guilty about it. I know I'm supposed to be excited to see him, and I don't actually hate the guy. I just think his gimmick is so tired to me. Like I hate thinking about him being the underdog because I just don't see him that way. But aside from that, I think your call out was spot on. Okay, this was a big Karrion Kross match. I think he was able, with an opponent like Sami, he was able to show some. That was the one thing about Sami's gimmick that is nice here, that it really allowed Karrion Kross to show his dominance. Because that's what Sami does. He just gets his ass beat, and then he comes back. And he looked great. They were selling some of his moves, giving you the name of his moves, really kind of putting them together. Again, I think this is a very consistent thing throughout this. I'm gonna keep calling them pay-per-views, dude. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
This show is that, like, I think the consistency for the most part, like, I don't think there was anything absolutely terrible. But like this wasn't like the greatest show that I've ever seen. But to me, that consistency is perfectly fine. And I enjoyed this match. This match was good.
Oh,
even with Sami in it.
Yeah, there you go. Even with Sami in it. The next match for the WWE United States Championship, your boy Jacob Fatu against Solo Sikoa, and they pulled the trigger. I was shocked by this, to be honest with you, but I have a cautionary tale, a warning of sorts. Don't blow your load too goddamn soon. Don't do it. I see what they're doing. Don't do it. Don't blow your wad that fucking quick. Trust me. Hunter, we've been down this road before, Hunter. Don't do it. What I mean by that is that Solo Sikoa is now your United States champion, and to be honest with you, I feel like this elevates Solo just a little bit. It gives him something to play with and try to get the character over just a little bit more. He's on the rise. Jacob, I am concerned because he's cooking. He's firing on all cylinders. All gas, no brakes. Get in where you fit in. Yada yada mean. He's doing 3 shirts a week. He's got the quotes out there. He's cooking. The matches look great. They are feeling this boy, and that's my worry. Don't try to start elevating him into the other level just yet, man. Give him some time. Let the boy marinate a little.
They pulled the belt off of him so they can start pushing him
to
the next level.
Yep.
Nah, leave him right here.
Let him dominate. That's what I'm saying. Let him dominate. Don't.
No, did you see that fucking dude? Move of the night is that first of all, the back handspring was a little awkward because he's so big, but he did it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he jumped over that rope like the Olympic high jump. The way he just kind of like went right over. Oh my God, that shit was fire. I saw that. I rewound that shit like 5 times. Oh my God. He's too big to move like that.
It's not fair. He's so fucking agile for his fucking size. It's kind of ridiculous. That boy good. That boy good. You want to talk about glazing? We out here. We doing a Cody Rhodes. Every time we have a pay-per-view, we end up glazing Jacob Fatu. That boy is nasty. And I got the chance to work with him and meet with him. Yo, he's even cooler a person than he is a wrestler. He's so chill. He's so fucking laid back. He's so dope as a person. And then you see him in the ring doing this thing, you can't help but fucking, like, you root for this dude, bro. Like, for real. Like, every time I see him out there doing this thing, like, I'm rooting for him. Every single time.
I agree with you though, 100%. Let's not get too trigger happy.
Don't.
We're making money right where we're at. Let's keep making money. There's more money in the future. Let's keep making money. I think this is so good for that whole young group right there. Really good for Solo. Really good for him. Let's keep developing this. Let's have fun where we're at. We got too many people at the top right now. We don't need to push him in and then have the risk of him falling behind. There's no need.
There's none.
We're
no
sitting
need.
pretty right now.
Yes. I'm telling you, listen, play your cards right. And what are we at? What's coming up next? 42? The main event of WrestleMania 45. It's going to be Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker for the title. You heard it here first. You've heard it here first.
That's gonna, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Like with time, that's gonna be a mega main event. It's gonna be crazy. But you gotta let them cook first. Let them get their feet underneath them.
Cook, man, they're in the oven right now. Man. Let them bake.
So our next match is the final for the Queen of the Ring tournament. Oh, baby. It was Jade Cargill against Asuka. And I don't know who the agent was for this match. I don't have an inside guy telling me what's what. And I don't know how this match was put together. But I'm going to tell you this. From a trained eyeball, somebody in that ring did not want to work with the other motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I don't know which side it was. I don't know who pissed off who. But no one gave Asuka the memo that Jade is the up-and-coming star.
She's that.
Because
she's that B.
Asuka got in the ring and decided this bitch is going to eat everything that I throw, whether she likes it or not. She went in there and did strikes and punches and kicks and knees and all kinds of... Jade did not know what the fuck was coming at her. She didn't know how to sell it. She didn't know... She hit this chick with everything but the kitchen sink. And then took the finish at the fucking end. That is a patent. I've seen it 1,000 times, boys and girls. I've seen it 1,000 times. If I had to put hard money, I think they were going over the finish the day of and then decided Jade was going to go up. And Asuka wasn't with it. That's what I think. It's an opinion. I don't know anything. I'm going based on what I saw. I saw somebody, not for nothing, we call it boo-boo face. They had boo-boo face. I don't think she was happy that she came back from a year and a half out on injury and to lose in the finals to this chick. I don't think she was happy about it. Because she wrestled that match in a way that if you were trying to expose somebody as not being nearly as good as you, that's the way you wrestle that match. She was quick. She was moving around oddly. Jade looked like she couldn't keep up with anything that was happening. Everything that Jade executed, it felt like Asuka was doing her a favor. The power bomb spot, just everything. Even down to the finish itself with the big move at the end. I don't want to go that far, but I was joking with Steph. I said this felt like Michaels Hogan. when Michaels was just flipping and flopping and doing all kinds of stupid shit just to prove to the audience he's a piece of shit. That's what this was. They're like, oh, is this your future star right here? This is your up and comer. This is the beast. This is the monster everyone's so fucking scared of. This chick, really? That's what that match felt like. That's why earlier when you were like, oh, it's a pretty consistent pay-per-view, it's like, yeah, up until somebody started shooting on somebody over here. Up until it started getting real for somebody. Jade looked out of her fucking wits, which is hilarious. Because you and I both gave her some props for that WrestleMania match that she had with Naomi. And I think when you compare the two, that was why the Asuka match to me stood out. Because Naomi and Jade at WrestleMania had a match this was a match between two people who really wanted to get over, like to get each other over, to both have the style of match where it's going to suit both of us and we're going to get over, we're going to fucking kill it, we're going to go out there and have a great match. I didn't get the sense that was the vibe for this match. I got the sense that Asuka went out there on purpose to show to the world she's okay, but I'm great, I'm Asuka. That's the vibe that I got. So
it's funny you say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you say that because I felt something was off with Jade, but I couldn't tell what it was.
She was
It
scared.
almost like she was a step behind, almost a little.
She was scared. She was nervous. She was scared.
She was still executing, and as I was watching it, I'm like, man, this girl. It's funny because I had no intention of her winning that match. So I was saying to myself, man, when she finally gets her shot, she will inevitably hold the belt. And I hope they take their time because she is growing like really well. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, I'm like starting to feel like proud of this girl, man. I remember seeing her AEW, just like, dude, get her off the fucking screen. Like, why is she here? This is terrible. To like see where she is today on the stage that she's on, I'm like, dude, I can't wait for the future to see how she develops and when she ends up holding the belt. Then when I saw that she won, I'm like, oh, we're doing this now? And my initial thought was, okay, give her the title shot. She has to lose. She cannot win the title. And I think that does amazing for her, even losing. But to hear you say that you kind of felt like Asuka wasn't really down with the call, kind of makes the way that match felt make a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, she got exposed.
Because I felt like, I was like, dude, she wasn't. Isn't exposed if you're being a like. Let's say what you're saying is. Let's say that is true.
Right.
Is it being exposed when you're deliberately trying to do things off the cuff to throw the person off? You could say maybe a great would know how to react to that and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Sure. But like we identify she's not a great, so to speak. Like she's learning the craft, right, and she's becoming better. So for her to react in that manner and be like, okay, I thought we were on the same page. Now we're not. This kind of goes against my training. You know what I mean? Like, right. Fuck, what do I do? If that was the case, I think she killed it. Because I don't expect her to be able to react to that shit from someone who is a vet who's been doing it for so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hope that's not true because that makes me look at Asuka like really weird.
I'm
really
projecting different based on an opinion that I formed watching the match. I could be completely wrong, and I'm stating that for the public and for the record. I could be completely wrong. I could be reading into it, but I've seen that kind of match before. And I don't think Asuka's point. I'm not sitting here saying that Asuka's going into this thinking that Jade is garbage or trash or whatever the case may be. I don't think that. I think Asuka is smart enough and professional enough to understand why Jade is in the position that she's in. You don't have to have 20/20 vision to look at Jade Cargill and go, yeah, I get it, right? The look, the athleticism, right? She knows, she looks like she fits the part. Everyone knows why she's there. I think the only issue, if there even was one, again, I'm projecting, is I don't think Asuka was happy with the decision that night. I don't think she has a problem with Jade going to SummerSlam. I don't think she's got a problem with Jade becoming a world champion. I don't think she has a problem with any of that. I think the problem that she had is I think she feels like that was the wrong decision for that night. This was the comeback for Asuka. This was a situation where, she's trying to reestablish herself. And I think, again, projecting, that she didn't agree to losing to a person who, let's be honest, as good as she has gotten and as much as she improved, is not on that level. Like you said, not a great. Asuka's a great. Asuka is a great. An all-time great. Top 5. I'll make the argument. I'll argue it all day. One of the top 5 greatest WWE women's superstars of all time. Easily. That's an easy argument to make. To come back from injury and lose to the new lady, yeah, I can see it being a little frustrating. Now, I understand that by making this claim, I'm also simultaneously making the claim that by saying this, I'm saying that she was being unprofessional, which is, going into business for yourself, trying to make a point. To a degree, yeah, that's kind of an accusation that I don't really want to make. I don't feel comfortable making that because I don't think she's an unprofessional person. I'm going based on what I saw. And at the end of the day, she still did the job. Regardless of how she felt or didn't feel about whatever, she went out there and did what she was supposed to do. She gave Jade a match that the fans got into. I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad match. I just know what I'm looking at. Jade looked confused, bamboozled, didn't know how to sell certain things, didn't know how to bump off certain things, because I got the sense that a lot of that stuff that was thrown at her, she didn't know was coming. All the while, because I've seen her bump and I've seen her wrestling matches where it's going according to plan. And she didn't look like that, especially not recently. That looked like old Jade. That's the old Jade, just confused, nervous, I don't know where to go from here, all that. That's the look we saw her improve from. She backtracked, which means Asuka was doing some shit she didn't see coming and she didn't know was coming. So that's where I draw the conclusion from. Could be dead wrong, but that's what I saw. I laughed through the second half of that match because I started putting it together like she's really not happy. She was throwing some shit at Jade that looked, we got a term in the industry. Those were some potatoes. That's what we call nice stiff shots. Those were some taters, straight from Idaho. She was throwing them shits, stiff as fuck. So I guess she figured, hey, I'm going to do the job. I'm going to put you over. But if I'm going to put you over, I'm going to get mine. So come on in. Come into the ring if you dare. But Jade Cargill does win the Queen of the Ring tournament. She gets the title match. She's going to SummerSlam. But we don't know. According to the, she could win. She could face any of the. I was going to say any of the champions. It looks like she's going to be facing the SmackDown champion. So Jade is going to get the.
Yeah, I believe they said specifically who they would face.
Yeah,
if the opposing person.
Yeah, so she's going to get the SmackDown champion, which is either going to be Tiffany Stratton or Trish Stratus, based on the fact that Tiffany has to defend the title at Evolution. If it's Trish, just burn it all down. There's no sense in just give her the belt, because we're burning daylight at this point.
Tiffany and Jade either. I don't like.
I was just gonna say I don't like it the other way either.
I don't like that shit either.
Who's carrying who in that match? Who's the ring general there? Because I got issues. I got complications over here. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. By the way, keep Jade Cargill off of night one. Just food for thought. Just food for thought. I'll take whoever winds up with the world's women's situation. I'll take that for night one. Keep Jade on night two. She's a star, remember? Yeah, keep her on night two. So the main event of this whole shindig, John Cena, CM Punk, the yin and the yang. One last time for the Punkster and the Doctor of Thugonomics, which, by the way, SmackDown. Did you see the clip? I think I sent it to you, right? The clip on SmackDown with the Doctor of Punkonomics. with the fucking Cubs jersey and the fucking drug-free Ducks. That shit was amazing. It was wonderful shit. I enjoyed it very much. But Punk and Cena. Also, I made the mistake of trying to show Steph the Punk thing, and she just yelled at me, so I won't be doing that again. But, yeah, Punk Cena for the title. They went out there and had a brutal matchup, a classic match between Punk and Cena one last time. But I peeped game yet again. My eyes were working overtime on this pay-per-view, my guy. I peeped game, sir. You know what I mean by that?
No, elaborate.
I saw some inside shit, baby. I saw the yellow brick road. I will elaborate.
What you see?
I will elaborate.
Yeah, what you see?
The first time when John turned heel, he hit Cody Rhodes with the belt across the face. You remember that?
Okay.
At Wrestle, he did that at Elimination Chamber. At WrestleMania, he hit Cody with the belt to win the title. A lot of his finishes as a heel has revolved around using the WWE Championship as a weapon to the head. For those of you who have been watching these matches, go back, you'll see what I'm talking about. No hesitation. He hit Cody in the fucking face. Bam. Easy peasy. Slowly but surely, match after match, he's kind of been using the title belt as a tease. And what I mean by that is, after Cody, for Randy Orton, as an instant, right? Randy Orton was the next opponent that he had. He brought out the belt to hit Randy Orton with, but he stalled a little bit. Contemplated it just a little bit. But would eventually use it. Then he competes against R-Truth. And he grabs the belt again like he's going to use it. But this time, Truth sees him. They're exchanging eye-to-eye contact. And John goes, oh, God damn it. I don't know. I'm conflicted. So then he leads over to the referee. He gives the belt to the referee. And the crowd pops. Oh, he didn't use it. He gave the belt away. Gave it to the ref. Ref turns around to hand it to the ring announcer. John fucking Cole Cox literally R-Truth right in the fucking dick and balls. And he fucking picks him up and he beats him. Then we fast forward again. Again with R-Truth. He's got the belt in his hand and he's got some sort of hesitation with him. But this time Truth doesn't wait for it. It jumps all over him. Now the match with Punk. Pulls out the belt. Here we go. I'm going to rack this fucking guy with this belt. And Punk looks at him. And John looks at him. And he goes, you know what? Fuck it. And he fucking throws the belt down. And the crowd pops again. And they get into it. And then the handshake later happens. Handshake, it does the hug. It does the goofy face again. Goes for the kick. It's a whole spot. But what I'm pointing out is the progression with the belt. First, no hesitation, solid shot. Then it was little hesitation, solid shot. Then it was hesitation, actually reconsidering and giving it to the ref, still nut shot, still a heel tactic. This time with Punk, he pulls the belt out, eye contact. This time he legitimately puts the belt down and gets rid of it, but heel tactics another way. The belt. He's teasing the face turn with the belt. Keep your eye out on that one. Every time he uses the belt, he has a little bit more of a hesitation on it. Each time it's a little bit more and a little bit more, and eventually it's going to get to a point sometime around Survivor Series where he's not going to use the belt and he's not going to cheat and the crowd's going to go fucking bananas. And by December, he'll be a baby face on the way out. Calling it.
All right.
Calling it. I'm seeing it.
Hope you're wrong.
You want him to go out as a heel?
Yep, all the way.
All the way. Just commit to being the dickhead all the way through.
I want him on his last, right on his microphone drop. I want him to look the camera dead in the eye right on his exit and go, fuck you, Stephanie Ling. And
Oh, I'll never. I'll.
Can you imagine, dude? Her hand would blow off her shoulders, dude.
I will never be able to watch wrestling in the house ever again.
Dude, that would be a great moment.
That's
But
the ultimate.
One could dream of a fun moment.
You should have been in the house.
Everyone in that house, that moment would die.
You should have been in the house the day that he did the promo about the first one, where he was like, "For 25 years, I've been in a toxic relationship." Remember where he did that line? My wife looked up from her phone and, "Oh, you've been the one in an abusive relationship? Gaslighting. Now it's my fault? Gaslighting. Now it's my fault. You the one out here pretending to be a wigger for all these years, but I'm the toxic one. Gaslighting. Gaslighting. Now I'm the fucking... She was arguing with the TV. She was combating against a former ex-boyfriend that had spurned her earlier in her years. So, yeah. But I called it there. This was a pretty okay match. Overbooked with the whole Seth Rollins thing. We made the comment about Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank when we talked about the pay-per-view last time. And we had made mention that, there's many different things that you could do with Seth now with the briefcase. You can hold off on him winning the title, but now with the briefcase, you can guarantee that he stays in the main event scene, which is great. I actually think it's a little too soon for him to be teasing that, because it almost put John in a position where he was kind of back to being babyface. When he called for the referee and John did that spot where he hit Charles Robinson in the fucking head, and he gets in there and him and Seth have the exchange and then he drops him with the AA, that felt like the old John Cena. So they were blurring the lines, I feel like, a little bit, and then eventually he just went back into heel mode. But he's cooking right now, is John.
Yeah, he is.
He's cooking right now. Yeah. For all these people
who go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of people online.
One of the greatest exits of all time.
There's a lot of people online. Oh, this heel turn, this heel run's not working. It's a flop. This isn't only good.
Crazy.
Well, you know what it is?
Did you hear that fucking crowd when he came out?
You know the funny thing is that you know why they keep saying it's not working? Because they don't like it. That's why.
Love it.
No, but I mean that in a literal sense. When they asked for a heel turn from John Cena, they weren't actually asking for him to be a heel. They just wanted him to change things. Give me new gear. Give me new music. Just do something different. Not actually be a heel. He's actually being a heel.
He knows that. That's why he literally comes out to a black screen.
And just white plain lettering. It just says John Cena.
He said it verbatim. You are getting nothing new.
Yeah, nothing.
I know that's what you want.
Yeah, you get nothing from me. You get nothing. You get nothing. Jesus Christ. Yep, so that was Night of Champions. We're setting up Evolution and Saturday night's main event. We talked about Goldberg last week. We'll probably talk about Goldberg again next week, leading into Saturday, because he'll probably do something on the show that's goofy that I'm sure I will dislike to my very fucking core. So, this weekend, July 4th weekend, we got plans. I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's going to be a big weekend. This is going to be the first 4th of July in a long time where I'm going to find myself side by side with a working grill. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. And I've heard talk of lakes and grill, and I'm just like, let's fucking go.
That all sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we're on the show. My family's not listening. I can tell the truth here. I love that my son has friends and that there's a social circle there for him. I love it. But I'm not a fan of his friends' parents. They're kind of, how do I put this? Whack. Like in a large way. So I don't really, when we do the little get-togethers or whatever, I don't really socialize too much with the parents. Steph does a lot of socializing. I don't do much socializing with the parents. I don't really fuck with them like that. So to be going to one of their homes this weekend, I'm a little on edge. So I was just like, yo, can we bring because I know I can't bring my usual stuff on the road. So can we get a few beers or whatever the fuck, something to juice up my fucking time over there? And then she was like, yeah. Now the person we're going to go visit It's one of his friends. And the parents, one of them, the dude, he's an actual chef for a restaurant. That's like his job. So he doesn't talk about it much, but I know that's what he does. So like the two wives, my wife, his wife, they're talking about, oh, we can do this and we can do that, blah, blah, blah. And then the wife goes, yeah, my husband's going to cook. And I went, he's going to cook. I said, cook? Like, what's he going to cook? And then she goes, oh, he's going to, the usual, like, hamburgers, franks, or whatever. I said, he's going to cook or he's going to grill? She goes, oh, I meant grill. Yeah, he's going to grill. I was like, say no more. I'm in. Because I'm bringing brews. And so if he's got meats, we straight, son. I'm good to go. I'm straight. I'm all right. Let's go. I'm all about beef and beer. That's where we're at. I am not pausing that. Let your mind go where it goes. All homo implied. I want beef and I want beers. And my wife's there, so I will also have boobs. So beef, boobs, and beers. Triple B me, bitches. I'm going to be straight. I'm going to be absolutely fucking straight. So I wish everybody out there phenomenal July 4th weekend. I hope you guys stay safe. We'll be back here next week. Much more to talk about, much more to discuss. So, as they say in the business, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing. And, of course, thank you guys for enjoying episode 314. God bless America and God bless professional wrestling.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.